Hello, good morning from wherever you're watching in the world. My name is Nsikak David, and I want to thank you for joining us on our personal development and motivation series. What an awesome day to be alive. We're now in December of 2023, and I know a lot of us that are alive today just want to say thank you to God for such a wonderful privilege to see the last month of the year. From wherever you're watching from, I want to say thank you for joining us on today's broadcast. We're going to be looking at an interesting topic today, which I title The Wheels of Nature. And what are we going to be learning from the wheels of nature today? It is very interesting to know that nature teaches us so many things every day, but human beings don't seem to be paying attention to the things that the nature teaches us. So, what this lesson is all about today is understanding the wheels of nature and seeing how you can apply the lessons that nature teaches us into your life. And we're going to be looking at several things that nature teaches us and seeing how we can apply these things to our life. But what's the first thing I want us to do? Today, I want you to take up a challenge for yourself to be 1% better every day. 1% better every day will make you 365% better every year. Who wants to be 365 better every year? Well, you can begin to do that by adding to yourself 1% of everything that you are building towards your capacity, everything you're building towards your learning, everything you're building towards your finances, everything you're building towards your relationship, everything you're building around your life. Add 1% of improvement to it every day. And why do I ask you to do this? Because if it is proven that if you wake up every day with a goal that is too big and that is too mighty, there's a tendency that you're not going to achieve it. And I know that when January comes, a lot of people like making goals and decisions when it comes to the month of January. But I want to tell you that you can set goals at any time. Don't put that goal at one day and then the next 3 days you've forgotten about it. Put that goal at small increments so you can take massive improvements, or you can take massive decisions, but take them in small steps so you can move towards that goal and you don't feel overwhelmed. So when we ask you to do 1% every day, it simply means if I've proposed in my heart that I want to be the best financial manager on the earth today, the first thing I'm going to do is get materials around that, get a coach around that, and then discipline myself to begin to do 1% increment on my finances per time. Now, some people can do 2%, some people can do 3, 4, 5, 10%, but it depends on your level of practice. And that's why I say start small and grow big. And that being said, let's go back to our topic for today, the wheels of nature. There is something that is very interesting in the book of Genesis. I don't know if you've read that book, but I think it's one of the books that everybody should read. When you get to Genesis chapter 8, it talks about how God had destroyed the first generation of humans on the earth because human beings had become evil. And then he selected a family of Noah and preserved that family as a seed for the human generation. And also asked Noah to preserve animals as seed for animal generation. Now he preserved them in the boat, and after some time, this boat settled after the 40 days and 40 nights of rain, and it took a while, and then the water cleared out, and God settled Noah again on the earth. Now, where I want us to get to is when Noah came out from the boat and made a sacrifice unto God. And after making that sacrifice, the word of God says in Genesis chapter 8 from verses 20 to 22, it says in verse 22 that God was pleased with that sacrifice. And what did God say? God said in his heart, I will no longer destroy, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest will not cease. And that's the principle I want us to learn today. The principle of seed time and harvest, because we see it all around nature. We see it all around us. But the most interesting thing is that human beings don't take this to heart. Human beings don't understand seed time and harvest time, and I see it replicating all around us. We have 4 seasons in a year. We have winter, we have summer, we have autumn, and spring. But still, every time it gets to one season, it seems as if the whole world is not prepared for it. We hear one thing, we hear another thing, and it seems as if from year to year we live in these seasons. Nature keeps speaking to us, but we don't understand it. We see the principle of the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. But a lot of people are still talking about evolution. How, if the sun has not stopped rising from the east and setting in the west, there's no principle like evolution that can work. So when we're talking about seed time and harvest time, it reflects on every part of human life, because this is a principle that God set in motion. It says, as long as this earth remains, as long as you're living on this earth, as long as this earth has not been destroyed, the principle of you sowing seed and receiving a harvest will remain. Now, a lot of people in the church setting understand sowing seed, but they do not understand harvesting the seed. And if you're in one of such places where they keep on telling you to sow a seed and sow a seed and sow a seed, and you're not receiving a harvest, you need to tell the person asking you to sow a seed to teach you how to receive a harvest. Because Jesus Christ by himself said, if you give, you will receive good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over shall men give to your bosom. So this is the principle of seed and harvest. When you sow a seed, expect a harvest, because the seed you have sown is meant to bring forth a harvest. The life that will live is a seed. Every action you take is a seed. Everything you do, like we said last week, every thought, every word, every deed is a seed. And as you plant it on your mind, you begin to receive a harvest. In the same way, if you do not understand the principle or the wills of nature and how nature respects seed and harvest, you will never make any headway in your life. The time you spend educating yourself is a seed. The time you spend in your 1% or 10% or 20% of personal development is a seed. The time you spend in spending quality time with your spouse in your relationship is a seed. The quality time you spend with your children is a seed. All of these things are going to bring about a harvest. So if you have not understood this principle and begun to work with it, I want you to understand that principle on today's personal development and motivation, that there is a seed time and there is a harvest time, and we should understand that this is the principle of nature and it applies to every one of us, regardless of whether you're tall, fat, short, thin, rich or poor, whatever it is. The seeds you plant in your body will bring forth a harvest. The seeds you plant in your mind are going to bring forth a harvest. The seeds you plant in your finances are going to bring forth a harvest. And when that harvest comes, are you going to be happy with the harvest or not? So it is imperative that at this point you begin to reorganize and reorder your life. It's getting to the season of December again. A lot of people are going to begin to spend frivolously, not understanding that January is coming. Now, when people are spending, you should be like the ant and not spend too much this December. Why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because January is coming, and when January comes, there are going to be bills to be paid. There are going to be fees to be paid. Don't start January with running around looking for money to pay students' school, to pay your children's school fees. Don't start like that. Rather, start January prepared, knowing that this time and this season, this is your responsibility. And that's why I said human nature doesn't allow us to understand times and seasons, although its nature is speaking to us all the time. The times are speaking to us. Nature is speaking to us. We can read the weather, we can read the clouds, but we do not prepare for these seasons. So when things are happening around your life, it's good for you to take a step back and say, you know what, this is a recurring thing in my life. I want to change it. Be intentional about changing the things that are recurring in your life, and then make that decision to say, I'm going to stick with the principles of nature and I'm going to move with the wheels of nature, because these are the things that God has set in motion. God said, as long as the earth remains, if you are living on this earth, understand, seed time, harvest time will never cease. It will keep on repeating itself. It is now left for you to understand when is your seed time, when is your harvest time, and what do you do in those moments. Your seed time continues as long as you want to receive a harvest. Ensure that you continue planting seeds. The seeds could be in your time, it could be in your service, it could be in your finances, it could be in your relationship. Whatever it is, as long as you want to keep the harvest coming, keep on planting seeds. Keep on planting seeds of hard work. Keep on planting seeds of smart work. Keep on planting seeds of being diligent at what you do. Keep on improving yourself. As I said earlier, that 1%, you can even compound it, because by the time you do 1% today and you're doing another 1% tomorrow, that it makes it 2%. And if you choose to compound like I do, 2% to 4% to 6%, you keep on to 8%, you keep on compounding. As you keep on compounding the increments, small increments, before you know it, naturally you become better at what you do. Naturally, you begin to take that place of dominion over the things that God has given to you to serve. So as I said earlier, if you are being taught to give, why do people teach you to give? They teach you to give because that's an offer. The churches we have today have so specialized themselves in teaching people to give 10% of their income every month. When you gather your 10% and give it to one person, it enables him to do more. So what about you? What about you? What are you giving? Or what are people giving to you to enable you to do more? You should be able to be at that place where you are sowing the seeds of service in your community, and that service you're sowing brings you reward. So you can ask for your reward as well. Because the pastor asks you to bring 10% every month, you gladly do that in the name of God. So what are you offering as well? The pastor has something to offer you. He has prayers, he has teachings, he has so many things to offer you. And then he tells you, in order for you to keep this commitment going, you bring in your 10%. But for you, how do you receive when this principle, okay, because we don't complete the principle, especially for us as believers, and that's why I'm talking to believers this morning. You do your 10%. What else do you do with your other 90%? Are you investing in your life? Are you investing in producing a service? Are you investing in doing something in your community that can bring you a reward? And when this reward comes, you take a portion out and reinvest it again, because a lot of people get the rewards. For example, you get $100. All right, you take out your 10%, you give it to your pastor, all right, or you give it to your church, or you give it to your community, or whatever you give it to. And then the remaining 90%, what do you do with it? You do not pay yourself, you do not invest in yourself, you use it to do all kinds of frivolous things, and then you expect a harvest. Friends, that harvest is not going to come because you're not putting the right things in the right place. So I urge you from today to begin to understand the will of nature and plug yourself into that place where you are going to be doing the right things at the right time. You understand your seed time. You understand that the seed will always bring a harvest. If you choose to sow laziness, you will always reap the harvest of laziness. If you choose to sow the seed of lack, you will always reap the harvest of lack. So it is no mistake that so many people are living in poverty because they are sowing the seeds of poverty. And what exactly are the seeds of poverty? You're not improving on yourself. You're not supplying any goods. You're not supplying any product. You're not supplying any service to your community. You're not providing any value to your community, and therefore you're not getting any value back. So today, this is what I wanted to share with you, or this is what it's on my heart to share with you as the principle of the wheels of nature. Nature is speaking to us every day. The rainy season is speaking to you every day. The autumn season is speaking to you every day. You put a seed on the ground and you surely expect a harvest after 12 months. You plant corn, you expect a harvest after 3 months. Okay? There's a time for seed, there's a time for harvest. Everything in life operates around that principle. And if you can plug yourself into that principle from today, you're going to get unusual harvest coming into your life. And I want to encourage every one of us today to join our business masterclass. Our business masterclass comes up every Thursday to Saturday. Thursday, 3 a.m. Australian time, but we're changing the timings right about now because a lot of people are, from the last week, a lot of people said the timings are not convenient. So we're going to change the timings to make it convenient for people that are watching from all over the world. So the Business Masterclass is a free 3 days launch your business challenge masterclass. Why are we asking you to launch a business? We're asking you to launch a business because if you do not have any value you're providing to your community, if you do not have any value that people know you for, if you do not have any service you are providing, there is no way you can receive There is no way you can receive, all right, from people if you do not give. So you need to give something to your community. You need to produce something. You need to produce some level of value, and then push this value out, and then get some rewards for it. So the 3 days masterclass, the 3 days challenge masterclass is to help you launch a business, help you launch something you can provide to your community. Everybody has something to offer. Whether it's a cleaning business, whether it's a beauty product business, whether it's a food business, whatever it is, we're going to show you that there are different levels of business we're going to show to you in these 3 days, and we expect you to begin to start to do something. Do something. Engage yourself in the wheels of nature. Plant a seed today and run that seed until you begin to see the harvest coming up. So that is my encouragement to you. Be sure to join us on Thursday. All right, every Thursday to Saturday. Be sure to join us every Thursday to Saturday. Get your friends to join in on this program. It's a life-changing program. If you learn how to do something of value and provide it to your community, you are going to be all the better for it. So friends, I want to thank you for joining us on personal development and motivation with Nsikak David. Don't forget, the wheels of nature are always turning, and it is left for you to plug yourself into that place where you align yourself with the principles of God, and then get yourself to that place where you are walking, planting the seeds, reaping the harvest, planting the seeds, reaping the harvest. You keep on rinsing and repeating, and at the end of time, your life is going to be lots better for it. So one more time, I want to say thank you and goodbye for now. Bye-bye.